History celebrates generals who conquer, but rarely those who simply endure. We remember Alexander, Napoleon, Patton, leaders of bold offensives. Yet the art of defense is just as vital, demanding discipline, technical skill, and nerves of steel. This is the story of Otto Moritz Walter Model, the German Army's ultimate defensive specialist in World War II. Model wasn't known for glorious victories, but for saving armies from destruction when defeat seemed certain. Hitler called on him whenever a front was collapsing. He became known as the Führer's fireman. While others dreamed of conquest, Model excelled at damage control, turning retreats into survival. His methods were harsh, his personality abrasive, but his results were undeniable. He stabilized crumbling fronts and saved German forces from annihilation time and again. Model's career challenges our obsession with offense, showing the true skill in holding the line. He proved that a well-organized defense could bleed even the strongest attacker dry. His legacy is a lesson in resilience, pragmatism, and the unsung heroism of those who endure. Sometimes history is shaped not by those who advance, but by those who refuse to break. To understand Model, we must look to his roots in World War I. He learned warfare not in classrooms, but in the mud and terror of the trenches. There he saw the futility of reckless attacks and the power of well-prepared defenses. Survival depended on technical skill, preparation, and coordination. Lessons that shaped his entire career. Unlike aristocratic peers, Model was a middle-class officer obsessed with detail and practicality. He saw modern war as a system, infantry, artillery, engineers, and logistics working together. After the war, he became an expert in military technology, personally inspecting front lines and talking to soldiers. This hands-on scientific approach set him apart and laid the foundation for his reputation as a master of defense. The grim realities of the First World War forged Model's unique perspective. Model revolutionized defense by treating it as a dynamic system, not a static wall. He built layered defenses, tripwires up front, then belts of mines, ditches, and gun positions behind. His shield and sword concept meant holding reserves back, then counterattacking when the enemy was exhausted. Model's personal involvement was legendary. He flew over battlefields, confronted commanders, and demanded perfection. His goal, make every inch of ground costly for the attacker. The nickname Poison Dwarf reflected both his abrasive style and deadly effectiveness. Model's science of defense turned the Eastern Front into a nightmare for Soviet attackers. He proved that defense, done right, could be just as devastating as offense. Model's genius shone during the brutal battles for the Rzhev salient. Facing overwhelming Soviet attacks, he practiced flexible defense, trading ground for time and enemy casualties. He let Soviet breakthroughs advance into deadly traps, exposing their flanks and bleeding them dry. Constantly shifting reserves, Model managed crisis after crisis, inspiring exhausted troops with his presence. He disguised fighting withdrawals as static defense, always focused on saving his army. Ultimately, he convinced Hitler to allow a withdrawal from Rzhev, executing Operation Büffel. Model pulled hundreds of thousands of men and equipment out under fire, a logistical masterpiece. He left behind a devastated landscape but saved his army from destruction. It wasn't a traditional victory, but it was survival against impossible odds. Model's approach redefined what it meant to win on the Eastern Front. At Kursk, the largest tank battle in history, Model's caution stood out. Ordered to attack, he argued against it, knowing the Soviets were prepared. He delayed, demanded better tanks, and advanced methodically, minimizing losses. While others sought glory, Model focused on conserving strength and avoiding disaster. When the offensive failed, his army remained intact, able to withdraw in good order. Model's true achievement was his restraint, recognizing when attack was folly. He understood that by 1943, survival and attrition were the only strategies left. Sometimes the greatest wisdom is knowing when not to fight. By 1945, the war was lost. Model, trapped in the Ruhr pocket, faced his final test. Ordered to destroy Germany's industry, he refused, preserving the Ruhr for the future. Unable to surrender as a field marshal, he dissolved his army. Letting his men choose their fate, he released the youngest and oldest, saving countless lives in the process. Model's defiance was pragmatic and humane, even as defeat closed in. With no future and fearing war crimes trials, he took his own life in April 1945. Model's legacy is complex, a brilliant tactician serving a monstrous regime. His true skill was knowing how not to lose when victory was impossible. He reminds us that sometimes survival is the greatest victory. In war, endurance can be as heroic as conquest. Model's story is a testament to the unsung art of holding the line.